Hi friends, and welcome to another edition of the latest edition. This edition is number 741, and it is about Pulp frontman Jarvis Cocker. Let's have a look. So here we have our usual contents page and who's on the like staff and that on the board. And Ed's letter. Yep. And the story about the big issue. We've also got our vendor for this fortnight on this edition is Stephen, who sells the big issue on Glebe Point Rd in Glebe. Now, I actually had to Google where Glebe is because I didn't know. But it's in New South Wales. It's either part of Sydney or just like one of those inner Sydney suburbs. But it's sort of Sydney. So if you're around there, particularly around Glebe Point Rd in Glebe, go say hi to Stephen and get a copy of the big issue. We have our street sheets, which are I say this every edition that these street sheets are always popular. Always a good read. It's always good to hear from all the other vendors and what's going on, so it's good. We also have our usual hearsay, and a little cartoon, and a comic. Also, by the way, if you see any cables like this at the moment, it's because I had to get a new phone, and I did actually have to record. This is the second time I've recorded this. And I recorded it earlier on the train, and it was a bit quiet, and I wasn't using my microphone. So it turns out I'm going to have to use my microphone for all these videos. So here we go. So here it is. There we go. Anyway, back to the current edition. We've got my word. Decent spread here. Looks like I like the frame though. It looks like I was looking at it before. It looks like the frame around it looks a bit like a waffle cone. All right, next page. So here is our our spread. 4 pages on Jarvis Cocker from Pulp. Britpop. Was always a fan of 90s Britpop. I've always been a fan of 90s Britpop though. I think Pulp are more 80s. I'm a bit of a sucker for the Spice Girls. They're my all-time favourite. But always also a fan of All Saints and British. They're Irish. Bewitched. British. The Brits have certainly got it right when it comes to things like, music and not just music but comedy as well. So that's awesome. And here we have a craft project. Now that is a section that I reckon the big issue should bring in permanently. Is a bit of a craft section. They've got the recipe for the edition. I reckon they should bring in a craft section. But anyway, so this edition we've got if you're into either crochet or knitting, you can make some fingerless gloves, which are cool. That's what I like wearing when I'm on pitch and stuff. And as you can see here, they're lovely. The lovely Stephen is demonstrating those, modeling those gloves. Yeah, so lovely Stephen. I actually met him yesterday while on pitch. He walked by and yeah, was super excited that he was in the big issue. So good on you, Stephen. So yeah, if you're in Balaclava or Malvern, get your hands on a copy from Stephen. Love your work, mate. And yeah, next page. Yeah, I was reading this. I always love in the big issue the bit where they do like they feature photographers and they've done like a series on something like how last edition it was about a sister dying, and they've done one about the Calcutta like the flower pickers and whatnot. But this week it's or this edition, Max Stone, who is a photographer, and I read he's also does a little bit for National Geographic as well as an explorer. He's gone and taken some photos from parts of what was it? Part of America, the southeastern coast, where there's all these like wetlands and whatnot, and like the trees just look like skeletons. So it's really cool. It's really fascinating. There's one picture There's one picture in this edition that I really particularly like by him. Yeah, there's a few here, but like the main picture that I was looking at before that I really was liking was this one with this turtle, which was really cool underwater. And this bird, the ducks as well, is cool. But yeah, no, definitely some really good, really spectacular images here, which is great. Great article. I have had a read of that article. It is a great article. Again, always a fan of the photography page. So in the letter to my younger self, this edition, it's the Australia's Governor General. Be right if I could say the words properly. Her Excellency, the Honourable Sam Mostyn, the Governor General of Australia. So yeah, this is again another part of the big issue that I quite like, because it's like I like reading autobiographies. So this is very much an biographical. I can't say my words today. Part of the big issue, so it's definitely very interesting. Next page. So this is a couple of pages. So yeah, we have our usual couple of segments as well, which is good. And we also have an article about the Hilltop Hoods. They're from Adelaide. I think they're from Adelaide. I can't remember. But yeah, they're Australian, and I'm not a huge rap fan or R&B, but R&B more rap, I'd say. But yeah, Hilltop Hoods I don't mind, as well as 360 I don't mind. But here they talk about their latest album, which is really cool. And we've got our latest film. We also have here Brandon Jack. He used to be as you can see here, play for the Sydney Swans in the AFL. And he's written a book. So he's just talking about his new book. And then we've got our film reviews, our small screen reviews. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once and you're getting more of the station, but that's alright. music reviews and book reviews. Now I did want to actually touch on this bit here. With the mushroom murder case. So, as far as I have heard, there could potentially be a book coming out, otherwise it obviously wouldn't be in. But I wanted to talk about this picture here. I'm presuming this has been done, I think it's been done in Hosier Lane. And I actually follow the person who did this on, I think it's TikTok, and I think maybe Instagram, but I definitely follow him on TikTok. And he has since the trial finished, and she was, and Erin Patterson was found guilty. He's since put guilty, guilty across the face. And it was interesting watching his videos. Put that together. Jay Gretch, I think his name is. So it's J and then Grech. But yeah. And we got our public service announcement. I must admit, I do like with the big issue the some of these articles, how they got the different coloured, different patterns and stuff for the borders and backgrounds. That's really cool. Now, this edition's recipe is one that I wouldn't mind trying myself, and it's caramel bonbons. So they look like little caramel toffees, but looks delicious. So salted caramel as well, a bit of salted salt on them. So it seems to be a flavour, doesn't it? The salted caramel, it seems to be just exploded out of nowhere in the last 15 years or so. So get a bit onto that. I think this is definitely one that I might try for the recipe book. So one of my other series on this channel. Now we've got our usual comic and puzzles. And then I wanted to also show you the Ozzities this week, which is interesting. And it's about the history behind that push, when you push the button at the pedestrian lights, the sound that, like the clickety sound that it makes. Also, if you're in Melbourne at all, I don't know if they do this in any other cities in Australia, but I know here in Melbourne, it's especially up on, I think, Swanston Street and Collins Street. They've got these the tactile dots at the pedestrian crossings. They light up, so it's like red to stop or to not go, and then when you can go, it lights up green, and then when it's time to stop again, that goes back to red. So that's maybe I can show you that in another edition of one of my other series. But yeah, definitely if you're in Melbourne, that's something to check out. So that's the current edition. Get your hands on a copy if you can. I guess see you around in the city sometime.